Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Butter Bunch. This one's going to be a solo video. I don't have no Aiden, I don't have Jacob or any of that. But I wanted to play some FNAF because, well, this is an old FNAF, of course, right? This came out back in 2014, but we have a new FNAF game coming out next month titled Pop Goes Arcade. And I'm going to play that with them, right? But for now I want to kind of run through FNAF as much as I can before then. And I figured Polar Bear, a channel that I do a little bit of Minecraft roleplay with, has made a FNAF roleplay that I'm in, and it's done really well. And so I figured, hey, you know what? Let's do this today. I'm gonna start talking a little more here in a bit, but first let's hear what Phone Guy has to say. Oh, also, this does take. We're gonna say this takes place here. Just it exists alone for now. I will put a little chart at the beginning to show the timeline placements for all these.
For you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact, so I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days, or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children, and we need to show them a little respect, right? Okay. So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety, the only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth that pop out the front of the mask. Yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras, and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Okay. So now that he's done talking, it's my turn to start. This game is pretty self-explanatory. This franchise nowadays has tons of books and games and spin-offs and a multiverse. It's a big thing. But this game, at this current point in 2014, it was a very simple lore. This takes place in the year of 1995, and 5 children were killed sometime prior to this game that now possess these robots, these little animatronics. Freddy Fazbear, Chica the chicken, Bonnie the bunny, Foxy the pirate, Foxy the pirate fox, I guess, should I say, and a 5th character who you can't find on the cameras at all, called Golden Freddy. I actually got a... How did I get an Easter egg this early? Maybe it's because I'm recording. It's YouTube perks, right? Also, he says it's against the rules to be without a cost. That's not... No, you can see pretty clearly here. And now the reason I wanted to do this as well is because Polar Bear has released a new roleplay set, his multiverse, called the PCU. It doesn't have any time. Well, I mean, it is set in the same multiverse as Yandere, but it is not in the same universe. So none of the Yandere stuff carries over. It's its own standalone thing. But I have to be a little picky about what I say, because behind the scenes, at this point, we have recorded everything except for the last episode, which we are supposed to record tomorrow. Well, my time tomorrow. And for you guys, the 2nd episode recently released. The 3rd if you count the pilot, but for us, yeah, we already know a lot, right? But I can probably get behind the scenes about the first 2 episodes because those are out, right? So, well, I guess first 3 episodes. I want to talk about the pilot as well. The pilot was pretty easy, but we are still kind of getting our groundings on it, and because of that, our biggest problem was trying to find our places on the stage. That was the biggest problem for us, really. It was mostly cinematic, so it wasn't the hardest thing, but we couldn't really figure out where we were supposed to go necessarily, or how far back, right? Because in the actual game here, you can see Chica is a little bit is next to Freddy, sure, but she's a little bit behind Freddy as well, which is the part we're struggling with. We're like, okay, how far back do we go, though? That was it, though. For the first official episode 1, though, that released recently for you. Right, okay, so the first episode, the main thing there was we were just going with the normal FNAF feel. Uh-oh. And that was pretty fun, but... Oh, wait, I didn't even realize she was gone. Okay.
Congrats! I won't talk quite as long this time since Freddy and his friends tend to become more active as the week progresses. It might be a good idea to peek at those cameras while I talk, just to make sure everyone's in their proper place, you know. Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often. I've heard he becomes a lot more active in the dark, though, so hey, I guess that's one more reason not to run out of power, right? I also want to emphasize the importance of using your door lights. There are blind spots in your camera view, and those blind spots happen to be right outside your doors. So if you can't find something or someone on your cameras, Be sure to check the door light. You might only have a few seconds to react. Not that you would be in any danger, of course. I'm not implying that. Also, check on the curtain in Pirate Cove from time to time. The character in there seems unique in that he becomes more active if the cameras remain off for long periods of time. I guess he doesn't like being watched. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you have everything under control. Talk to you soon.
Okay, that was a lot quicker than last night. So the one downside that I find on YouTube is that I don't know how to hold much of a conversation about anything at all. Alone, anyways. I can hold a conversation when others are here, right? If Jacob or Aiden are here, but and I thought about bringing them on here, but because this game has so much with atmosphere in regards to sound like that, or the pitter-pantering of pots over here in the kitchen, which you can't actually see, and the reason for that still isn't confirmed. It might honestly not even have any relevance at all. It might have... Okay, that's also an Easter egg. That shouldn't be a thing. Why am I getting Easter eggs? I swear this game knows that you're recording. Because YouTubers in general have this thing. He's still staring. But no, I thought about it, but because the sound is so integral to this specific game in the series, I didn't want to have anything ruining the experience. Because as much as I like Jacob and them, I'm not God. I can't just make them be silent the exact second that I need. And sometimes I have to be quiet and listen like that. I can hear someone moving. Sometimes I have to be quiet and listen. Okay, there's you. Ooh, but you are. Where are you? Okay, we have you. Where's Chica? Okay, no, we're fine there. Okay. That's another one that shouldn't be around right now. That's a much later night thing. Okay. The whole It's Me thing also wasn't really ever a thing explained. Well, I take back, it could be explained if you consider the whole, like, Golden Freddy thing. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so in the first episode of the FNAF roleplay, right? It was interesting because we were just doing normal FNAF at that point, and it was the only one we actually recorded that day. I don't know if we recorded the pilot as well that day. I think we might have. I don't think we did, but we might have. I don't know. Either way, we're recording the first episode, and that one was fine. That one went smoothly. And it did well. The problem is that, like, Polar just had no motivation for it. And so this is the real reason, by the way. This is the real reason it took. Why there's, like, this big gap between the pilot and the actual episode. Because Polar wouldn't record with us. We recorded the episodes very recently, except for episode 1, and he never sat down and edited them or anything, and so they were just sitting there for a very long time. Okay, Chica's in the kitchen. And eventually, we managed to convince him to do it, but, like, he actually, that series was almost canceled. That series almost never came out in the first place because he just had that little motivation. But we did the second episode, and it was terrible. It was the same thing as episode 1. Although one thing in the current episode 2 that changed, right, is because in the original we had a phone guy like in the actual FNAF game. Except it was milk. But we realized because it's so hard to make this exact kind of gameplay, checking the cameras, checking the stage, seeing if there's any animatronics like this, it's fun in a game standpoint, but not to watch. So we had to figure out what to do to keep this still scary, keep it at FNAF, but how do we make it entertaining to watch? And so we were like, what if we just get another night guard, which is an idea we had been fiddling with for a while, but it wasn't a thing we ever decided on until like that minute. And so we're like, okay, let's redo episode 2. And so the episode 2 that we redid was the one that you guys actually saw. And that one we liked a lot more. And so I can't explain episode 3, but I can't explain episode 3, but that hiccup and the fix we did brought Polar's motivation up a lot more, and we just kind of like spam recorded. We just speed ran the series, and we had a lot of fun with it. And that mess up affected the way that we would approach the series from that point on. I'm gonna call it quits here. I don't know our outro. I've been sitting here for so long, Jacob gets exasperated with me because of this, but I don't know the outro. So we're gonna do night 2 later on, and by that point I should actually be able to talk a little more about the roleplay, because I think maybe some more episodes will be out at that point. Or at the very least, we can talk about something else that I'm thinking of. But right now, goodbye, something, toodle, bip.